Welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time, we're going to be looking at Lin Yi-Han's novel,
Right.
Fang First Love Paradise.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about this one.
This is one that you all sent in.
Great.
A lot of you really wanted us to unpack the relationship between the two main characters, Fang and Liu Yiting.
Okay.
It's a story of their shared experiences and how their lives are impacted by a very manipulative teacher.
Okay.
The novel starts with their childhood in an apartment building in Kaohsiung.
Right.
And paints a really vivid picture of their bond.
Okay.
In fact, it says that their friendship was like a clump of hard maltose candy.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought was so interesting.
I love that analogy.
That they were kind of stuck together.
Yes, absolutely. And it really foreshadows how intertwined their lives become.
Yes.
It's a really great way to start the book.
And I love how the author contrasts their personalities, especially when it comes to their social standing. You know, Yiting is so insecure about living in this grand building that she's constantly downplaying it.
Right.
Desperately wanting to fit in with her classmates.
He just wants to be normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Siqi seems a bit more self-assured.
I agree.
Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Yeah.
This difference is highlighted, I think, brilliantly during the Lantern Festival scene where they're volunteering.
Yes.
They're serving food to the homeless. And Yiting accidentally gives a man an extra tang win.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And immediately gets so flustered and worried about what people will think.
I know.
It's just, I think that small little scene speaks volumes about the pressure
Oh, absolutely.
young girls face to conform.
It's all about appearance.
And seek approval.
Yeah, for sure.
And while all this is happening, you know, and Yiting is focused on all of these appearances, Siqi is having a completely different experience.
Yeah.
She's just
more introspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's struck by the plight of the homeless people.
Yeah.
You know, especially those.
She sees them out in the cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she even feels a sense of guilt for having a warm coat.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a powerful contrast.
Yes, it is.
That really reveals their core values.
I think so too.
Don't you think?
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
Yiting is very preoccupied with outward perceptions, while Siqi is demonstrating a really deep sense of empathy and social awareness.
I agree. Yeah.
And this Lantern Festival isn't just about these two girls.
Right.
This is also where we meet another resident of the building.
Oh, yeah. Kunta.
And we get this glimpse into her troubled marriage with Yiwei.
Okay.
Do you remember when Yiting notices a look of fear in Awen's eyes?
Yes.
When her husband touches her?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
It's chilling foreshadowing, right?
Yeah. It is. It really is. It hints at the abuse that's to come later.
Yes.
And it makes you realize that even in a seemingly perfect environment, there can be darkness lurking beneath the surface. You just never know.
And then there's that scene where Yiwei compares Siqi's beauty to Iwen's.
Oh, right.
Which seems like just a casual remark, but it really rattles Yiting.
Of course. Yeah. It makes her feel inadequate.
Yes. You could just feel her insecurity growing.
Right.
And it highlights, I think, how even seemingly harmless observations can feed into, you know, those feelings of inadequacy.
It really can.
That young girls often experience.
And it also speaks to the societal pressures that women face to meet certain beauty standards.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like the author is planting these seeds early on, hinting at how these girls will grapple with their identities as they mature.
Definitely.
And then, as if things weren't complicated enough, we have the arrival of Li Guohua.
Yes.
Their charismatic cram school teacher. Now his arrival is a major turning point in the story.
For sure.
Li Guohua initially comes across as this charming and engaging person.
Right.
But his thoughts reveal a much darker side.
Okay.
It's really disturbing.
I know.
When he reflects on the efficiency of exploiting his students' admiration for him.
Oh, yeah.
The way he talks about the continuity of his actions sends chills down your spine.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it's his internal monologue that really reveals the calculated nature of his predatory behavior.
Right.
He's not
just acting on impulse.
No.
No. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very consciously manipulating these vulnerable girls.
It's awful.
And his justifications are downright chilling.
Yes. Yeah, they're just awful.
And his observations about his students are so telling. Remember when he remarks that girls' handwriting is more beautiful than their faces?
Oh, yeah.
It's like he's reducing them to objects.
Right.
You know, focusing on their physical attributes rather than seeing them.
Yeah, he doesn't see them as people.
As individuals.
Right.
It's just
objects.
Such a creepy detail that adds to his unsettling persona.
It really does.
And tragically, he sets his sights on Sichi.
Right.
That scene at the police station where she's found just disheveled and withdrawn really hits hard. It's such a stark contrast to her earlier vibrancy. And it just hints at the devastating impact of his abuse.
It does.
You know, she's a shell of her former self.
Right.
And it just really foreshadows the long and painful journey of healing that lies ahead for her.
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking.
It is.
Because it reveals the extent to which she's been broken down. Like, she's not the same girl anymore.
No.
And it just makes you think about the long road ahead for her.
And later, when Yi-Ting stumbles upon Sichi's diary entries detailing the abuse.
Right.
It's like a punch to the gut.
I know, it's so hard to read that.
Yeah.
Like, you can just feel the shock and the betrayal.
Yes.
That Yi-Ting is going through.
What Yi-Ting experiences, realizing the depth of her friend's suffering.
Right. And realizing how long it had been going on.
Right.
And she had no idea.
It's a powerful moment of realization for Yi-Ting, but also for the reader.
Right.
I think it underscores the insidious nature of abuse.
Yes.
How it operates in secrecy.
Oh, fantastic.
Isolating the victim and making it so difficult for them to speak out.
Exactly. And, you know, it makes you wonder how many people are going through this.
Right.
So suffering in silence, hidden behind like a seemingly normal facade.
A normal facade.
Yeah.
The book really forces you
to
confront that uncomfortable reality.
For sure. And it doesn't shy away from portraying the long-term effects of this trauma on Sichi.
No, it doesn't.
No.
And there's that poignant scene where she goes for a ride in Iwan's convertible.
Right.
And you would think...
You'd think she would feel free.
Yes, you'd think she'd be excited.
Yeah, with the wind in her hair.
Yeah.
But she's not.
But she's not.
She's numb.
She is.
Yeah. And, you know, she's realizing that her potential has been stolen.
Yes.
Her capacity for joy, it's diminished.
It's like she's mourning the life she could have had.
Right.
The experiences that were taken from her.
Exactly.
And she's trapped in this state of grief and disconnection.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
And that scene in the motel lobby.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Where she sees a couple expressing genuine love for each other just adds another layer to her grief.
Yes.
You know, it's not just about romantic love.
Right.
It's about her inability to experience genuine human connection.
Yeah.
Because of what she went through.
Because of the trauma she endured.
Exactly.
She's surrounded by these glimpses of normalcy and happiness. But they just feel so out of reach for her.
They do.
It's like she's living in a parallel universe. Forever marked by Li Guohua's actions.
Right. And that symbolism is further emphasized.
Okay.
When she gives Li Guohua a photo with her parents cut out of it.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
It's powerful.
It's such a powerful visual representation of her attempt to sever ties with her past, with her innocence, as if trying to erase the part of herself that he violated.
It's like she's trying to get rid of that part of her that he touched.
That's a haunting image.
It is.
That really speaks volumes about the depth of her pain and her desperate attempt to reclaim some sense of control.
To take back her life?
Yes.
Yeah. And remember that moment on the train?
Yes.
When she sees a child expressing love for their mother.
Yes.
And she breaks down. It's like... It highlights how the abuse has robbed her of the ability to experience these simple, pure emotions.
Yes. And she's consumed by envy.
Yes, she is.
And this profound sense of loss.
She wants what they have.
Yeah.
But she can't have it.
It's heartbreaking to witness her yearning.
Yeah.
For something that should be so natural and accessible.
Yes.
Yet it feels so distant.
Right.
Because of what she went through.
Exactly.
So while all this is happening, Siqi is really struggling to cope.
Yeah.
Yi-Ting seems to be thriving on the surface.
At least outwardly.
Yes.
Yeah.
She excels academically, attracts attention from boys.
Right.
But even with all this outward success, she feels inadequate.
Yeah.
Haunted by Siqi's experience.
By what happened to her friend.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating paradox.
It is.
You know, you'd think Yi-Ting.
You'd think she'd be relieved.
Yeah.
That it wasn't her.
Yes.
That she escaped Li Guohua's clutches. But she's not.
But she's not.
She almost feels guilty.
Yes.
And unworthy.
Yeah, and she even rejects the advances of boys.
She does.
As if she's been tainted by Siqi's trauma.
Like it's somehow her fault.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
I think it speaks to the ripple effect of abuse.
Oh, definitely.
You know how it can impact those in the periphery.
Right.
Leaving them grappling with these really complicated emotions and a very distorted sense of self.
It changes how they see themselves.
And amidst all of this,
yeah,
we see Iwan seeking solace in an unlikely place, a relationship with Mr. Mao Mao, the kind-hearted jewelry designer.
Right.
What did you make of their connection?
Oh, it's so interesting.
I found it so intriguing.
I think it's really fascinating because it explores the idea of healing and finding love after trauma.
Yes.
You know, Iwan has this thing for old objects.
Yes.
And it seems like she's drawn to Mr. Mao Mao for that same reason.
Yeah, like this.
He represents stability.
Yes, this old world charm.
Yes, exactly.
And the sense of stability he represents.
It's like she's trying to escape the present by going back in time.
Yeah, like she's yearning for a world where things were simpler.
Simpler times.
Yeah, more predictable.
Yeah.
And Mr. Mao Mao, with his genuine warmth and compassion, offers her a safe haven.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
He is.
He really is.
And his kindness extends beyond Iwan.
Right.
You know, remember when Mrs. Chang reveals the truth about Yi Wei's abuse to Mr. Mao Mao? And his mother's the one who reacts with judgment?
Oh, I know.
You know, saying that Iwan wouldn't marry him, even if she got a divorce.
Even if she left her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a telling comment.
It is.
Because it highlights those societal expectations placed on women in abusive relationships.
These situations.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the pressure.
The pressure to stay silent.
To stay silent.
Right.
And endure the suffering.
And keep it all to themselves.
It's as if society is saying that leaving is not an option.
Exactly.
Regardless of the circumstances.
No matter what.
And despite all these pressures, Iwan finds the courage to break free from Yi Wei.
She does.
It's a long and painful process.
Oh, I'm sure.
But she ultimately chooses her own well-being.
Good for her.
Over those societal expectations.
She deserves to be happy.
And it's a testament to her resilience.
Yes.
Her ability to find strength.
Right.
Even in the face of such immense adversity.
She's a survivor.
Yeah.
And Mr. Mao Mao is so supportive.
He is.
This whole thing.
His unwavering support throughout this journey is incredibly touching.
He doesn't try to fix her.
He doesn't.
No, he just offers his love and acceptance.
Yes, and his presence.
Yes.
You know, he's just there for her.
Yeah, he's just there.
His love is a powerful example.
I think so too.
Of what healthy relationships can look like.
Absolutely,
you know?
yeah.
It's about respect.
Right.
Empathy. And a willingness to walk alongside someone. Through their darkness.
To support them.
Without judgment.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is.
And it's such a beautiful contrast.
Yes.
To that toxic and manipulative relationship that Siqi endured with Li Guohua.
Absolutely. And speaking of Li Guohua, we see another victim, Xiaoqi, finally confront him about his abuse.
That confrontation is incredibly tense and powerful.
It's a tough scene.
It is.
Yeah.
She exposes his predatory behavior in front of his wife.
In front of everyone.
And her own parents.
That's a big moment.
It is.
Yeah.
And it just shatters this illusion of his respectability.
Right. And his reaction is exactly what you'd expect.
Yes.
You know, he tries to discredit her, uses really graphic language to describe her.
Ugh, it's so awful.
And he just deflects all the blame.
Tries to make himself the victim.
Yeah, says he was overwhelmed by her classic abuser tactics, you know.
Textbook manipulation tactics.
They just twist the narrative and try to silence the victim.
And tragically, the confrontation leads to Xiaoqi attempting suicide.
Oh, it's so sad.
It's a stark reminder.
It is.
Devastating consequences of abuse.
Of what this can do to people.
And the profound sense of despair that it can inflict.
It's just awful.
You know, it just underscores the urgency of recognizing these issues and addressing them.
Right.
We need to create a culture where victims feel safe.
Safe to come forward. Where abusers are held accountable.
And where abusers are held accountable.
Yes. And amidst all this darkness, we have Iwan's letter to Siqi and Yiting on their 18th birthday.
Yes.
Which offers this glimmer of hope.
Yes.
You know, she writes, tolerance isn't a virtue.
Yes.
And taking tolerance as a virtue is a way that this pretentious world tries to maintain its depraved sense of discipline. Rage is a virtue.
Oh, it's such a powerful statement. It's a call to action.
It is.
Urging them to reject, you know, those societal norms.
To fight back.
That silence victims and protect abusers. It's a message that I think resonates deeply.
Oh, for sure.
Especially in the context of the Me Too movement.
Absolutely.
And the growing awareness of sexual abuse and harassment.
It's so important to talk about these things.
Yes, and Iwan's words empower survivors.
They do.
To speak their truth and demand justice.
To stand up for themselves.
And her actions speak even louder than her words.
Because she makes the decision to leave Yue.
She does.
Choosing her own well-being over those societal expectations.
It's incredible.
It is.
You know, her choice is a testament to the strength and resilience.
The strength of the human spirit.
You know, it shows that even after experiencing such trauma, it's possible to break free from these toxic situations.
Yes.
And rebuild your life on your own terms.
To take back control.
And
Mr. Mao Mao's love and support, this whole thing just shows
it really does.
The healing power of healthy relationships.
Yes.
He creates a safe space for her.
He does.
To heal and to grow.
Yes.
It's really beautiful.
But even as Iwan is finding happiness with Mr. Mao Mao, she confides in Yiting her fear of forgetting Siqi.
Oh, yeah.
Which is such a poignant reminder that healing doesn't erase the past.
No.
And that moving on can often be accompanied by this sense of guilt and loss.
Yeah. You don't just forget.
You know, it speaks to the complexities of trauma recovery.
For sure.
Doesn't it? You know, there's this tension between wanting to embrace joy and happiness while also honoring the memory of those who have been hurt.
You want to move on, but you don't want to forget.
Right.
Yeah, and the image of the car driving away,
leaving
Yiting behind, really captures that.
It does.
That bittersweet feeling.
It does. It symbolizes a departure, a letting go.
Yeah.
But it's not a clean break.
No.
You know, it's this acknowledgement that life goes on.
Yeah.
Even in the face of tragedy. And that we carry the weight of our experiences with us, shaping who we become.
Yeah. A powerful image.
Yeah.
And it really captures the journey of all the characters.
It does.
They've all been through so much pain and loss.
Yeah.
And yet they find a way to keep moving forward, you know, carrying the scars.
Yes.
But also the lessons of their past.
It's interesting how the author uses these seemingly small details, like a car driving away, to convey such profound emotions and transitions.
I know, it's really effective.
It really adds to the richness of the story.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And it's those subtle nuances that elevate this novel beyond just a simple story of abuse. It becomes a reflection on the human condition.
It does.
You know, the complexities of love and loss, memory and resilience.
And speaking of resilience, Yiting's final realization about the people around her is really striking.
Yeah.
You know, she comes to see Iwan's vulnerability,
Li
Guerha's cowardice, and her own strength
Yeah.
in a new light.
It's like she finally sees them for who they really are.
It's a moment of clarity for her.
It is.
She's no longer viewing the world
Right.
through the lens of childhood innocence.
Yeah.
She's seeing the complexities of human nature.
Of the real world.
Shades of gray that exist within each person.
You know, it's like she's finally shedding those rose-tinted glasses.
Yes.
And confronting the world as it truly is.
It is.
With all its beauty and ugliness.
And in that confrontation, she finds her own strength.
She does.
She realizes that she has the power.
The power to choose.
To choose her own path.
Her own destiny.
To define her own narrative.
Yeah.
Even in the aftermath of trauma.
It's a powerful realization.
It is.
And it shows that even though bad things happen, we can still overcome them.
So what does this all mean? Fang Xiqi's First Love Paradise.
Yeah.
It's a challenging read.
It is.
It forces us to confront these uncomfortable truths.
The hard truths.
About abuse.
Yes.
Power. And the lasting impact of trauma.
It's not easy to read.
It's not.
But it's important.
But it also offers a glimmer of hope.
It does.
Reminding us of the strength.
The strength of the human spirit.
Of the human spirit and the importance of speaking out.
Finding your voice.
The novel compels us to look beyond the surface, to examine the subtle ways that power dynamics play out in our own lives.
In our relationships.
It encourages us to question societal norms.
Absolutely.
That silence victims and protect abusers.
We need to challenge those norms.
It's a call to action.
It is.
Urging us to create a world.
A better world.
Where everyone feels safe.
Safe and supported.
And empowered to speak their truth.
To speak their truth.
And it reminds us that healing is possible.
It is.
Even in the face of unimaginable pain.
There's always hope.
Through connection.
Yes.
Compassion. And courage.
We can heal.
We can find a way to move forward.
To move on.
Carrying our scars with grace.
With grace and dignity.
And using our experiences. To advocate for change.
To make a difference.
It's a story that stays with you.
It does.
Long after you finish reading.
It makes you think.
Prompting reflection. And hopefully action.
Hopefully action. And as we wrap up this deep dive into Fang Xiqi's First Love Paradise, here's something I want you to consider. The novel primarily focuses on the experiences of women, but these themes of abuse, power, and silence, they transcend gender. How can we all, regardless of our gender or background, work together to create a culture where everyone feels safe to speak up and to seek support?
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.